Pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the winner-take-all Game 3 game of the Division II Softball Atlantic Region Super Regional. Westchester taking on Shepherd. The winner goes to Denver. Pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chad Cooper alongside Linda Rush here to bring you all the action of this Super Regional. Let's get you the starting lineups. First for Shepherd, who will be the visiting team once again here in this game. Leading off is the center fielder, Caitlin Konopka. Nicole Pertel, the third baseman, bats second. Ashley Berger at shortstop hitting third. And the pitcher, Lori Sturgill, bats cleanup. Connor Gilligan at first base bats fifth. Leanne Brown at second base hitting sixth. Rachel Taylor catches and hits seventh. The DP is Lindsay Anderson. She'll bat eighth. And in the ninth spot is the right fielder, Morgan Cox. Tori Seymour plays out in left. Konopka, Pertel, Berger, Sturgill, Gilligan, Brown, Taylor, Anderson, Cox the lineup. Defensively for Westchester, they will have Emily Massett at third base, Emily Kim at shortstop, Bree Garber at second, Courtney Stump over at first, Jamie Clemes, Anna Marie Hartman, and Jillian Thomas the outfield left to right. Heidi McAllister does the catching, and in the circle is Megan Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh 11-4 this season. A 3.04 ERA as the first pitch is over for a strike, and we are underway. First pitch at 2:30 p.m. Game time temperature 77 degrees. 11-4, 27 games, 12 starts, 7 complete games, 101 innings, 99 hits, 53 runs, 44 of them earned, 46 walks, 61 strikeouts. The next to Konopka is over for a strike. 0-2, the count to Konopka. Konopka hitting .325, no homers, and 14 RBI. Yeah, and the winner goes to Denver. The loser season is over. Westchester, the home team, after Shepherd was the home team in the opener, is the next one. Little ground ball right back to the circle. Cavanaugh has it, throws on to first, and there is one away. Cavanaugh picked up the win yesterday. Redshirt sophomore out of Easton, Pennsylvania. Pertel stands in, hitting at .316. First on the way to Pertel is smacked out into left field for a base hit. On it quickly is Clemes.
She's having a great day at the plate.
She really is. Had a nice game in game one. And it'll bring up Berger. Berger hitting at .262 as game two starts. 2 homers, 26 RBI. The first on the way to Berger. Good off-speed pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
She used the off-speed yesterday a lot as a first pitch strike, and I'd like to see it today again.
5 innings for Cavanaugh yesterday in the complete game effort, 3 hits and 1 run. Into the line, the right-handers 0-1, fouled straight back, 0-2. Getting the first run in this game is going to be so critically important for either team. Talking about the opportunity to put the pressure on the opposing squad in a winner-take-all game.
Yeah, I agree. It really sets a tone for the rest of the game, especially if it's in the early innings.
Next pitch is a changeup that misses low, 1-2 the count on Berger. Shepherd with the win earlier today set a program record for single-season wins. They're 42nd. As they look to advance to their first ever national tournament as the next pitch called strike 3. Fastball on the inside corner locked her up 2 away. Now to bring up Sturgill. Sturgill hitting at .279. 6 homers, 29 RBI. She took the loss in the circle yesterday, but not entirely her fault. 3 of the 7 runs that she gave up in that third inning were unearned as the first pitch to Sturgill. Just outside for a ball, 1-0. Sturgill going 2 for 2 with 2 RBI and 2 runs scored in our opening game today. The next pitch is down and in. 2-0 to Sturgill. Cavanaugh looking to work around the 1-out single. Sun has decided to come out now.
Beautiful day for softball.
Next one is down and away, 3-0. That first game, it kept being cloud, sun, cloud, sun. It looks like we should be relatively clear, as those clouds are the nice high cotton ball type out in the far distance. The 3-0. Low for ball 4. 2 on, 2 out, and it'll bring up Gilligan. Gilligan went 1 for 3 in the opener, getting .324 with 8 homers and 33 RBI. From a pitching perspective, you almost have to say advantage Shepherd right now. We'll talk about that in a second. His first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Cavanaugh has the ability to dominate, has the ability to be very good, and we saw that yesterday. But if she struggles at any time, where does Westchester go next? You've already used your number 1 in Gearhart earlier today, and she took the loss in the opener. The next one, swinging and a miss, strike 2. A little bit of extra giddy up on that fastball there, 0-2 the count. Meanwhile, if you are Shepherd, you're throwing your ace out there here in this winner-take-all game. If she falters in any way, if Sturgill struggles in any way, you can still bring Stocks back in Game 2, who pretty much run through this Westchester lineup pretty easily. The 0-2. Swinging and a miss, strike 3, and the side is retired. 2 strikeouts for Cavanaugh in the top of the first. We go to the bottom half. Shepherd nothing. Westchester coming to bat in the D2 Softball Atlantic Super Regional. Bottom half of the first inning, Shepherd does not score in the top half of the frame. The Westchester lineup looks like this. Leading off is the second baseman, Bree Garber. Batting second is the center fielder, Anna Marie Hartman. Emily Massett at third base hits third, and catching and batting fourth is Heidi McAllister. Batting fifth is the first baseman, Courtney Stump. In the sixth spot is the left fielder, Jamie Clemis. Hitting seventh in right field, Jillian Thomas, the DP. Tori McCouch bats eighth, and hitting ninth is Emily Kim with Megan Cavanaugh in the circle. Garber, Hartman, Massett, McAllister, Stump, Clemis, Thomas, McCoach, Kim. Defensively for Shepherd, a couple of changes with the left fielder now moving into pitch here. Nicole Pertel at third base, Ashley Berger at shortstop, Leanne Brown at second, Connor Gilligan at first. Tori Seymour is in left field, Caitlin Kanutka is in center, Morgan Cox in right. Rachel Taylor does the catching, and in the circle is Lori Sturgill. 18-8 on the season, a 166 ERA, 31 games, 24 starts, 18 complete games, 173 innings, 108 hits allowed, 42 runs, 32 earned. She's walked 52, struck out 122 opponents, hitting just 173 against her. So it'll Bree Garber to lead things off. Garber hitting at .376, homer and 28 RBI. She went 1 for 3 in the opening game today. The first on the way, runs up and takes a strike, 0-1 the count to Bree Garber. Well, Shepherd put 2 on in the top of the first inning, could not score. We saw how that turned momentum in game 1. The next one is a bounding ball out towards short. Up with it is Berger. Her throw to first is high. Garber's going to try to go for second. The throw to second is into right field. I could see 2 errors on that play because a good throw to second has her. I think you have an error on the shortstop, Berger, but then you could have another error on the first baseman, Gilligan.
For sure, that ball bounced off the fence really hard, and she got the ball quick.
Going to bring up Hartman. And very quickly, a visit to the circle. This is what plagued... Actually, they're going to give her a hit and an error on that one. But this is what plagued yesterday's game. So it's just going to be 1 error, my apologies. I can see that. I would have thought it may have been 2 errors because a good throw by the first baseman has her. And this is what plagued Sturgill yesterday with some tough defense. Again, of the 7 runs she gave up in the third, only 3 were earned. This first pitch is low for a ball, 1-0 the count to Anna Marie Hartman. Hartman in game 1 went 1 for 3. Overall, hitting .324 with 28 RBI. The next one shows bunt, pulls the bat back and takes high, 2-0. We saw in the first game today, Westchester was able to get a couple of runners on but did not score in that 5th inning. And then Shepherd took advantage, having all the momentum. The 2-0, low 3-0. Does Westchester get the same thing here where Shepherd puts 2 on in the top of the first, but then doesn't score? Westchester coming right back, already a runner on second and nobody out, and a 3-0 count on Hartman. The 3-0, high and away ball 4. 2 on, nobody out, and it'll bring up Masseth. Masseth really struggled in the opener, went 0 for 4 overall. Still hitting .401, 3 homers, and 60 RBI. She came up in a couple of big situations and popped out in both of them. His first pitch is a changeup, outside corner, knee high for a strike, 0-1. So now for Sturgill, the senior out of Waldorf, Maryland. The next one, a good drop, swung on and missed for a strike, 0-2. Senior out of Waldorf, Maryland needs to come up with some big pitches to keep her team in the game. The 0-2. Just outside for a ball, and it's 1-2. And for Shepherd, they're really built for this game. They've been built to get to this moment. The next one, changeup swung on and missed. Massett down on strikes, 1 away, and it'll bring up McAllister hitting at .376.
That's a huge strikeout. No outs to get the first out.
McAllister 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored in our first game. .376. 11 homers, 69 RBI. The first on the way. Fastball up, 1-0. It's really a different look bringing Sturgill out there after Stocks in game 1. Stocks, a lefty, had a good fastball but really worked off her changeup. Sturgill, a righty who just throws some heat up there.
And she's mixing in the off speed, which is really keeping the batters on their toes.
That one was a changeup, misses low, 2-0, the count to McAllister. Sturgill shakes off Taylor. Shakes her off again now. Are they going to call a ball for an illegal pitch on that or a balk? Not calling either. They haven't put the ball up on the scoreboard, but she definitely kind of jumped and then stopped. The next one is a changeup outside, 3-0. Well, the Westchester dugout is just dancing on that third base line. They are ready for a run to come across. I think so are the fans. So next one, good changeup on the inside corner. That is a gutsy pitch to throw 3-0. Three and one to McAllister, second in the NCAA in RBI with 69. The next one, not what she wanted. Changeup inner half, belt high, and it's full at 3-2. That's an intelligent hitter, knowing just because you can swing 3-1 doesn't mean you have to if it isn't where you want it. 3-2, fastball grounded, past the second baseman into center field for a base hit. Coming in to score is Garber. Heading to third is going to be Hartman. Into second safely is McAllister. Her 70th RBI of the year, and Westchester leads it 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning.
She placed that ball perfectly up the middle. Clutch hit right there.
It is an unearned run as Garber reached on the error. But it is on the board as it'll bring up Stump. First on the way to Stump. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Stump getting .330, 3 homers and 34 RBI. Went 0 for 2 in our first game today. The next one is a little tapper out towards second. The runner looked back to third. Is picking it up and making the throw is Brown for the second out of the inning. 2 down, and it brings up Clemis. Clemis, 1 for 2 with an RBI in the opener. Also had a sacrifice, hitting at .310. 34 RBI is the first pitch to her. Down and away for a ball, 1-0. This is really setting up like Game 1 did, where Westchester scored that run in the second, but Stocks came through and was able to strand a couple after that. The next one is low for a ball, 2-0. Westchester gets a big hit here, 2-run score. That really changes how this game looks. The 2-0. Low for a ball, 3-0. Jillian Thomas waiting on deck. Sturgill struggling with command early. The next one is on the outside corner for a strike, 3-1. That's her 22nd pitch, just her 10th strike of the inning. The 3-1. Outside corner, strike 2, and the count now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. It's Hartman on third and McAllister on second to run in. Golden Rams leading Shepherd 1-0 in the bottom of the first. The 3-2. Swinging and a miss, strike 3. So Sturgill gets out of it with just 1 run across on 1 hit, 1 costly error and 2 left. We go to the second, 1-0 Westchester at the D2 Softball Atlantic Super Regional. Brown, Taylor, and Anderson to bat for Shepherd here in the second inning. Brown had herself a game in game one, 3 for 3 with 2 RBI, did Leanne Brown. Now hitting .236. No homers, 26 RBI. It's Cavanaugh with the first on the way to her. Check swing. She went around. Strike one, 0-1 the count to Leanne Brown. Well, for Cavanaugh, she needs a shutdown inning here. Keep Shepard at bay after her team got a run. The next one is low for a ball, 1-1. And the winner of this game advances to the NCAA National Tournament in Denver. Takes place May 23rd through the 27th as the next one. Just a little low for a ball. 2-1 the count to Leanne Brown. Cavanaugh checks the wristband. Sees what instructions were given by the coaching staff. The next pitch is a fastball in her half for a strike, 2-2. The 2-2. Little check swing roller to first. Diving and just getting her glove to the base. In time is Courtney Stump for the first out. That was close. She almost dove too early and never made it to the bag. One down, and it'll bring up the catcher, Rachel Taylor. 0 for 3 in the opener. I think .245 on the season. Westchester looking for its third regional championship. First pitch is outside for a ball, also high, 1-0. Joining the ones in 2014 and last season, Shepard looking to advance to the national tournament for the first time. They've already set the program record for wins with 42, the 42nd coming earlier today. The next one, swinging and a miss for a strike, 1-1. Cavanaugh ready with the next one, lifted into shallow left center field. Going out as the shortstop, Kim, who puts it away for the second out of the inning. 2 down, and it brings up Tori Anderson. Lindsay Anderson. Anderson hitting at .270, 2 homers and 17 RBI. Did not play in the opening game as Sturgill was out in left. Well, now you've got Tori Seymour out in left and Anderson as the DP, as the wind really just kicked up for a second as the first pitch is over for a strike, 0-1. Now wind is blowing across the field and slightly in from right to left.
Kavanaugh's doing a great job getting ahead of the count.
The next one bounces up for a ball. 1-1. It opens up so much more when you can get that strike one, or at the very least 2 of the first 3 pitches for strikes. The 1-1. Sharply hit foul, third base side. 1-2, the count to Anderson. Bases empty, 2 down. Top of the second. This winner-take-all game in the Atlantic Super Regional. Westchester the 3 seed, Shepard the 4 seed. The Golden Rams versus the Rams. The next one bounces up for a ball with a changeup, 2-2. If you look around the berm, the stands, looks like both teams brought a significant contingent with them for this Friday afternoon. The next one is hit on one hop out to Masseth at third, makes the throw to first, and the side is retired. So Cavanaugh did exactly what we said she needed to do, a shutdown inning. We head to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Westchester in the Atlantic Super Regional. Jillian Thomas, Tori McCoach, and Emily Kim, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up for Westchester in the bottom of the second inning. 1-0, the Golden Rams on top. Thomas hitting at .218, 2 homers and 10 RBI, went 1 for 3 in the first game as she looks at a strike. 0-1, the count to Thomas. Sturgill rocks and fires. Bounces up for a ball. 1-1, the count to Jillian Thomas. Thomas, the right fielder. The next one, a changeup. Checked her swing. Pitch miss low and away. 2-1, the count to Thomas. The 2-1. On the outside corner for a strike. 2-2 the count. To Thomas. The 2-2. Just low for a ball, maybe a bit outside also, and the count runs full 3-2. Sturgill with the full count offering. Little roller out to first base, picked up by Gilligan with her foot on the bag for the first out of the inning. 1 down, and that brings up McCoach, 1 for 3 in the opener. 228 overall, 2 homers and 14 RBI. The first on the way to McCoach is lifted down the left field line, a long run, making the catch. Out in foul territory is Tori Seymour for the second out of the inning. 2 down, and it brings up Emily Kim. Kim went 1 for 2 in the opener with a sacrifice, hitting at .364, no homers and 6 RBI. 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the second, a 1-run Westchester lead. The first on the way to Kim. Fastball misses outside. 1-0 the count to Emily Kim. The 1-0. Off the fist into center field. Konopka there. And she will put it away for the final out of the inning. We go to the third. 1-0 Westchester on the Division II Softball Atlantic Super Regional. Top half of the third inning, it'll be the 9-1-2 hitters due up for Shepherd. 1-0 Westchester as Morgan Cox, Caitlin Konopka, and Nicole Pertell will hit against Megan Kavanaugh. Cox hitting at .222. No homers and 6 RBI as she lifts one out to her opposite number in right field. Thomas makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that'll bring up Konopka, who grounded back to the circle her first time up. Konopka 0 for 1 on the day as Kavanaugh delivers. Lined out into center field. This is going to chase Hartman back, and it's going to take a couple of rolls and go all the way back to the wall. On her way past second, heading for third. The relay is not in time. It skips by, but backed up by Kavanaugh. It's a one-out triple for Caitlin Konopka. For Konopka, her third triple of the year. And it'll bring up Purtell, who singled her first time up. Westchester with the corners in, the middle infielders back. His first pitch is low for a ball, 1-0. Maybe it was adrenaline, maybe it was some very good placement, but 2 strikeouts in the first inning for Kavanaugh. She seemed to have a little bit of extra ride on her fastball. The next one missed outside for a ball, 2-0. She's got another strikeout in her. Now would be a good time for it.
I'm wondering if Shepard might call a suicide squeeze here.
Try to push that ball past either the first or the third baseman, especially the third baseman, Masseth. They are trying it. The runner hung up off of third. The pitch is outside for a ball, 3-0. Good call there. I mean, again, this is a winner-take-all game. The winner goes on to the national tournament. The loser's season is over. The 3-0. Blown away, ball 4. I'll bring up Berger, who was called out on strikes their first time up. I mean, to quote the movie A League of Their Own, one of these teams is going to walk out of here champions of the league, or in this case, champions of the region. The other team's just going to walk out of here. That's what it comes down to right now.
Can't ask for better softball than this.
And we've had a good game through the first couple of innings. Unlike our first 2 games, which kind of got out of hand a little bit early both times. There's another squeeze, fouled off. 0-1, the count to Berger. Sturgill waiting on deck.
I like the squeeze because if the runner goes on the pitch, she's going to, unless if the fielder makes a perfect flip to the catcher, she'll be safe most times because it's a tag play.
The next one is up and away with a changeup. Throw back to third and back in safely is Konopka. Meanwhile, Purtell takes second on the play. 1-1 the count. See if they rule that a stolen base or a defensive indifference, and it is a steal. So second and third now with 1 out and a 1-1. Fastball down and away, 2-1. So McAllister's going to head out to the circle and have a conversation with Megan Kavanaugh.
With first base open, I'm sure they're going to not pitch her anything relatively close that she can hit the ball because the outfield's deep and a single can score too here.
Especially with Purtell's speed out at second base. You get anything other than a sharp line drive to any of these outfielders, that's a Shepard lead right there. The 2-1. They try to squeeze again. Nobody covering first. Now Garber comes over and does it.
Perfectly executed.
Sacrifice, suicide squeeze, good, and we are knotted at 1 apiece.
Kavanaugh knew just to go to first on that one.
Purtell moves up to third. 2 down for Sturgill, who walked her first time up. We are tied at 1 now in the top of the third inning. The first to Sturgill. Fastball outside, 1-0. Well, now you have to really be worried about the wild pitcher pass ball with that runner on third. It's Kavanaugh with the 1-0. Just misses low for a ball, 2-0.
There's a big backstop behind the catcher, so any pass ball, it will be an easy run.
And it's a good distance as well. It's not just right behind you. The next one is a good fastball for a strike. 2-1 the count to Sturgill. She can reach. Gilligan waits on deck. Shepard has tied the game here in the top of the third. Runner on third and 2 out for the Rams. So next one just missed outside, 3-1. The 3-1. Called strike 2 on the inner half, belt high. Count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Lori Sturgill. The 3-2. Called strike 3, and the side is retired. Shepard gets a run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. Bottom of the third coming up. You're watching the Division II Softball Atlantic Super Regional. Top of the order, as it'll be Garber, Hartman, and Masseth to face off against Lori Sturgill. Garber reached on an error and scored her first time up, runs up and takes a strike. 0-1, the count to Bree Garber. The 0-1. Tries to bunt at it, bunts it foul. 0-2, the count to Garber. Shepard tying the game in the top half of the inning. 1 run apiece. The 0-2. Low for a ball, and it's 1-2. And we talked about it in game 1. This is a very veteran Shepard team. A lot of their key players, seniors. The next one is low for a ball, 2-2. Sturgill, a senior. Rachel Taylor, their catcher, a senior. Morgan Cox, their right fielder. Konopka. 4 starters in this game, all seniors, as the 2-2. Check swing on a fastball up, and it's full at 3-2. They've kind of been building towards this. They had a really good year 4 years ago as freshmen, and then kind of built their way back to this, their first trip to the Super Regional, and they want to leave their mark on the program. The next one is a changeup low for ball 4, so Garber walks to lead things off, and she'll be a leadoff base runner for Hartman. Garber, 16 steals and 18 attempts this year. Hartman walked her first time up. Corner infielders expecting a bunt. Hartman left the bat out there too long, takes a strike, 0-1, and she did not disappoint. Looking to bunt on that one. Westchester head coach going through the signs down the third base line. The 0-1. Pulls the bat back, runs up, and takes it high and away, 1-1. Oh, Westchester, they've graduated a lot over the years, but they continue to reload, and this team does not have a ton of seniors on it. You got McAllister. The next one is looped out into right field for a base hit. Garber's going to try for 3, and she will be in safely. The relay back to second, and safe at second is Hartman on the throw. So second and third with nobody out for Westchester, and Masseth coming up.
Hartman made a good slide to avoid the tag on that one.
I really thought she was going to be out at second base, slid to the center field side of the bag, and just kind of caught the base with her left hand. That was a fantastic slide on the throw back to second.
Makes you question if the right fielder should have even threw it to third, because now both runners are in scoring position.
That's a great point, because that ball took a long time to get to her. It was in the air a long time. The first pitch to Masseth is a strike, 0-1. Masseth struck out her first time up. That ball took a long time to get to Morgan Cox out in right field. By the time that she even got to the ball, Garber was already around second base, so maybe throwing it into second would have been the better option. Squeeze play on, it's bunted foul. 0-2 the count. You know, you said you liked the squeeze last inning, and I like it there. You've got Masseth, who is one of your big productive players. 60 RBI on the season. It's the 20th best number in Division II. She's really struggled today. She's 0 for 5 today, run between the first game and the second game. Maybe just a sack bunt, get her an RBI, get something going. So the next one is grounded foul, first base side.
It's almost bounced fair. Had a weird spin on it.
It made a weird noise coming off the bat. 0-2, the count holds on Masseth. The infield is in for Shepard as the 0-2 again. Line back through the middle for a base hit. Garber will score. Hartman is going to be held at third, and now she's hung up. As the catcher trying to chase her down, still getting into the rundown. And Sturgill is finally going to tag her out. But a good job of hanging around the rundown long enough to be able to let the runner get over to third. As we'll have fun allowing the official scorer figure out who was all the players who caught the ball in that rundown. But it is a single. Masseth makes it up to third. Hartman is out.
Masseth made a great running thought process on that. She stood by third until the potential of her teammate was going to get out or not. And if you touch the base before the runner touched it, she would have been called out.
Right, because right now the runner that had previously occupied third base had been Hartman. So the second that Masseth touches that base, Hartman has to go home, because then Masseth now occupies the base. So as you said, a really good idea to wait that step away before coming into the bag. A run did come in to score in that whole mess. Runner on third with one out for McAllister. And they are not going to let McAllister beat them, and she's going to get 4 wide here. Put runners on the corners with one out for Stump. It's not like Stump can't beat you. He does have 30 RBI on the year. Obviously not the same numbers that McAllister has. It's McAllister driving in her 70th run of the season. Her first time up.
I think that was a smart move.
Absolutely. I mean, again, you can't let McAllister be the one to beat you. If Stump comes through with a single here, you know, it is what it is. But you can't let McAllister, who's hitting 370, has 70 RBI, you can't let her be the one to beat you.
Especially with the base unoccupied.
First pitch is down and away, 1-0.
I wonder if the infield are going to turn 2 or check the runner and go 1 on a ground ball.
Well, they are in, and that's a really tough decision to have to make. The next one is outside for a ball, 2-0. Of course, if the pitch doesn't cross the plate, it might not become an issue. I mean, you'd like to think that they're going to look the runner back to third because a double play in softball is so hard to turn. The next one is a ground ball right back to the circle. They've got Massive hung up. The throw to the plate is made for the out. So it'll go down as a fielder's choice. Massive is out 1-2. McAllister to second. Stump aboard at first with 2 down now for Clemis, who struck out her first time up. Boy, I'll tell you, Shepard has lived on the edge this inning, but so far just the 1 run across.
Yeah, that was a great defensive play. Hit hard.
His first to Clemis is fouled off on the changeup, 0-1. Boy, for Westchester, if they only get the 1 run this inning, you want to talk about ruining missed opportunities. The 0-1 outside for a ball, and it's 1-1. Winner goes to Denver. The loser sees its season end. The 1-1 lifted out into center field. Konopka is there, and she will put it away for the final out of the inning. So for all that, Westchester gets 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the 4th, 2-1 Golden Rams at the Atlantic Softball Super Regional. Top half of the 4th inning, 2-1 Westchester on top in this winner-take-all game in the Division II Softball Atlantic Super Regional from the softball here on the South Campus of Westchester University. Very glad that you are with us this afternoon. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for Shepard. Gilligan, Brown, and Taylor to face off against Kavanaugh. Gilligan struck out her first time up. One of 3 punch-outs for Kavanaugh on the day. The first on the way. Low for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. To Connor Gilligan. Another one of the seniors on this Shepard team. The next one is a changeup that misses just a little bit high. 2-0 on Gilligan. A wind and the 2-0. Outside corner with a fastball for a strike, 2-1. Kavanaugh gets the sign with the 2-1. Changeup popped up into shallow left. Kim calling for it, and she will move out from her shortstop position to make the catch. 1 down. We'll bring up Leanne Brown. It's a tough play for Kim. That sun has really started to come out and is kind of beating down into left field right now. Brown, after going 3 for 3 in game 1, grounded out to first, her initial at bat. Here in game 2. 6 pitches a fastball for a strike, nothing in 1, or maybe we should say went 3 for 3 in game 2 and is 0 for 1 here in game 3. As all of these Super Regionals best of 3 series, this one knotted at 1 apiece. Whoever wins this game moves on to the national tournament. Brown tries to bunt her way on. A good job coming out of her crouch and touching the ball while it was in foul territory by McAllister to make sure that one didn't roll fair. Nothing in 2, the count on Leanne Brown. The next one is popped up. Foul on the first base side, making the catch is Stump for the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down, and it'll bring up the catcher, Rachel Taylor. Taylor popped to short her first time up. Kavanaugh gets the sign, and the first 2 Taylor. Fastball outside, 1-0. Into the windup, the 1-0. Fouled over the Shepherd, well, not over, off the top of the Shepherd dugout. And onto the berm, up the first base side, where fans sitting at the top of the hill. It's one of the great things about games here at Westchester, and it doesn't matter where you are on South Campus, outside of Farrell Stadium. There's so much seating area and such an atmosphere where you can just kind of watch at the top of the hill. Here, fans are lined up at the very top of the grass and on the sidewalk along South New Street. The next one is lined right back to the circle. Softly caught by the pitcher Kavanaugh for the final out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-1 Westchester in the Division II Atlantic Softball Super Regional. Bottom third of the order due up for Westchester here in the bottom of the 4th inning. A 2-1 Golden Rams lead, as it'll be Thomas, McCoach, and Kim to face off against Lori Sturgill. Thomas, a ground out to first, her first time up. Getting back to what we were talking about last inning, it's always a great atmosphere here at Westchester. There's a lot of fans who said lined up along South New Street today. As the first on the way to Thomas. Low for a ball, 1-0. Also fans lined up along the fence down the third base line. The 1-0 bounces up for a ball, 2-0. Also been to soccer games here over on the South Campus soccer field, which is across from Farrell Stadium, where you've got the South Campus apartments right out there behind the field, behind one of the goals. The next one is over for a strike, 2-1. Seen super regional soccer games, Elite Eight soccer games, where you'll actually have the fans sitting in the balconies of their apartments looking over the field. The next one is up high for a ball. 3-1. Westchester has become one of the big powers in Division II. Baseball winning the national championship a couple of years ago and hosting the regional this year. Softball looking to go back to its second straight national tournament. As the next one grounded off her foot. I thought it hit off her foot. 3-2. Basketball has done well. Football's gone to the NCAA tournament the last several years and has been the PSAC East champions. Three and two, the count. To Jillian Thomas. Sturgill delivers. Off the fist, foul. Leaping catch attempted by a fan behind the third base side. Went off her hands. The 3-2 is lifted down the left field line, and that'll bounce foul. Good at bat here being turned in by Jillian Thomas. Shepherd also really growing a lot of their programs. The next one is low for ball 4, and Thomas a leadoff base runner. Their appearance in this Super Regional proving that their football team has had some success in the last couple of years, advancing to the NCAA tournament. As they depart the Mountain East Conference. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Thomas coming up here. As Elizabeth Moore is going to come in and pinch run. McCoach fouled out in left field her first time up. The first on the way. It's a bunt by McCoach. They're going to try to go to second, and safe at second on the fielder's choice sacrifice is going to be McCoach. That's a gutsy play and not the best decision by Shepherd on that situation. That'll bring up Emily Kim. I would imagine that if McCoach was bunting, the first pitch is a low for a ball 1-0. The Kim definitely would be. Is the 1-0. Does try to bunt. Takes it low, 2-0. So Westchester, after having 2 runners thrown out at the plate in the third inning, looking for more here in the fourth, leading it 2-1, 2 on, nobody out. Bunts through it for a strike, does Kim. 2-1 the count. And it's bunted through, but it kicks off the glove of the catcher. Boy, that looked like it came awfully close from going into the Westchester dugout. If that had gone into the dugout, that would have given the base runners an extra base. It is a strike. Well, I thought it was a strike.
Yeah, I think he called it a strike.
They have it as a ball on the scoreboard. We're going to go with a strike and a 2-2 count, and that's indeed what it is. But the passed ball moves the runners up to second and third. The 2-2. Little nubber out towards first. Throw to first is in time, and a smart play this time by Westchester not to risk that runner. That would have been an easy throw for Gilligan to make to the plate. So 3-4 on the out at first. 1 down, and it brings up Garber, who has reached on an error and walk, she scored both Westchester runs. Corners are in for the slap hitter. I mean, very in, halfway to home plate in. This first pitch is down and away for a ball, 1-0. Middle infielders are in even with the baseline. The shortstop, Berger, a little bit in the hole with the slap hitter up. Tried to bunt her way on, and out at home plate is going to be Moore as they tried the squeeze. And that was bunted right in front of home plate, pounced on by Taylor, and the tag applied for the second out of the inning.
It was a great bunt, but not what was needed for the suicide squeeze.
2 down, runners on the corners, and it'll bring up Hartman, who has walked and singled. That's 3 outs at home plate now for Westchester. First pitch to Hartman is low for a ball, 1-0. If Shepherd comes back to win this game, that's one thing that Westchester needs to look at. The 1-0, low for a ball, 2-0. Next one low for a ball. The pitch gets by the catcher, and coming in to score is McCoach. It'll be a stolen base for Garber, and Westchester leads at 3-1. The 3-0 is upstairs, ball 4. So Hartman walks, 2 on, 2 out, and it'll bring up Masseth, who has struck out and has singled. It's being ruled a wild pitch. Masseth, an RBI single her last time up. Now after the catcher visits the mound, we're going to have a coaching visit. Sturgill trying to keep this where it is. If you're Westchester, you want to pile on as many runs as you can here, knowing that you're going to get pretty much starting the countdown for outs next inning. 9 outs to go for a regional championship. The first on the way to Masseth. Change up inner half at the knees for a strike. 0-1 to Masseth. The next one is upstairs for a ball. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 is outside. 2-1 the count to Masseth. Masseth, 61 RBI on the season. She's got a fast runner in Garber out at second. The next one is a bounding ball picked by the third baseman. Purtell will fire it across to Gilligan, and the side is retired. Westchester does get a run. No hits in the inning, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the fifth, 3-1 Golden Rams in the D2 Softball Atlantic Super Regional. Top half of the fifth inning. Either 9 outs for Westchester to get in order to be able to advance to the national tournament, or 3 runs for Shepherd to get to take the lead. Lori Anderson, the designated player, fouls the pitch back behind the plate and out of play. Lindsay Anderson, my apologies. 0-1 the count to Anderson. Grounded to third, her first time up. The 0-1 bounces for a ball, and it's 1-1. Kavanaugh, after getting the win yesterday, going to pick up her second win of this Super Regional. It's the 1-1. Bounding ball foul, third base side, 1-2 the count on Anderson. The wind and the 1-2. Down and away for a ball, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Lindsay Anderson. She'll be followed by Morgan Cox and Caitlin Konopka. The next one is fouled straight back. Good swing at that ball. 2-2, the count holds to Anderson. Anderson, the DP, hitting in place of the left fielder, Tori Seymour. Shepherd has had their pitchers hit in both games of this Super Regional today. The 2-2, change-up, swing and a miss, strike 3. For Kavanaugh, her 4th strikeout. 1 down, and it will bring up Morgan Cox, the right fielder. Cox lined out to right her first time up. Kavanaugh toes the rubber and the first pitch. Low for ball, 1-0. 3-1 Westchester in the top of the 5th. The 1-0, swing and a miss. Ran up and missed on the slap. 1-1. Taylor Stocks is warming in the bullpen for Shepherd. We kind of speculated, would she, the next one, tried to bunt, pulled the bat back, took a strike, 1-2. We speculated, would she maybe start game 2? They opted to go with Sturgill, but you knew you were going to have Stocks available. Interesting to see if she'll come in the bottom of the 5th. The 1-2 outside for a ball, 2-2. Konopka waiting on deck. Cox, a senior out of Halifax, Pennsylvania. His time is called by the catcher, who asked the umpire to go and dust off the plate. Next one is a ground ball out towards second. Scooping it up is Garber. She'll underhand flip it over to first for the force. 2 down. I'll bring up Konopka. Konopka, the senior out of Medford, New Jersey, Shawnee High School. Shepherd's got a very interesting base to be able to recruit from. They're not that far from the Harrisburg area. They're in West Virginia, so they've got that entire area. They're close to North Central Virginia in the Shenandoah Mountains. Also not that far from Baltimore and Washington. The next one is a ground ball slapped through the middle for a base hit.
Konopka's having a day today.
Konopka with her second hit of the day. She tripled and scored in the 3rd. Going to bring up Purtell. Purtell singled and walked. 1 for 1 so far. Konopka can run 27 out of 32 this year. The first Purtell is fouled off. And just back behind our broadcast area. 0-1 the count to Purtell. Would you risk a base runner in this situation, though? That's the question. You haven't generated much offense. 2 outs in the inning. Do you risk ending the inning on the base paths? The flip side of that being, if she is able to steal second and Purtell comes through with a single, this becomes a 1-run game. Runner starts and stops as it's lifted foul down the right field line. 0-2 the count on Purtell. The 0-2 is a change-up high. 1-2 to Purtell. It's turned into a very, very nice afternoon for softball here. The 1-2, high in the air out to left field. Getting her bearings on it is Clemis, and she will put it away for the final out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Go to the bottom of the 5th. 3-1 Westchester in the Atlantic Super Regional. Bottom of the fifth inning, middle third of the order, due up for the Golden Rams. McAllister, Stump, and Clemis. Sturgill is still out there in the circle, as we had mentioned. Stocks was warming up down the third base line. It's McAllister. Single and an intentional walk as she looks at one low, ball one. 1-0 the count to McAllister. We've definitely warmed up from our first pitch temperature from game one, which is around 73 degrees. It's 82 now. Bright and sunny out and a little bit of humidity. The next one is up and away, 2-0. According to our handy weather app. Feels like it's 84. Might have to turn the AC on tonight. It's only going to go down to about 65. The next one is low for a ball. 3-0 the count. Supposed to really warm up over the weekend, be 87 on Sunday. The 3-0. Low and in ball four. So McAllister, her second walk of the day. First unintentional walk, although kind of think that was kind of an unintentional intentional walk.
I agree.
And I'll bring up Stump, who has grounded out twice. This may be it for Sturgill as a visit to the mound coming. This will be a tough time for Marissa Leslie to take Sturgill out. She's a senior and is one of the big reasons that they're here. 1.66 ERA and an 18-8 record coming into play today. And again, a big reason why not just the team is here today, but the program is where it is. She is going to stick with Sturgill here. First pitch is over for a strike, 0-1. Sturgill, a two-time all-conference first-team performer. NFCA all-region last year and likely to be this year as the next one is grounded out towards short. Throw to second for one, return to first is not in time. It was a bang-bang play, and Stump just beat it out for the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Clemis. Clemis has struck out and flied to center. His first pitch is low. One and 0 to Clemis as Sturgill delivers. Outside 2-0. Next one is golfed out into right center field. That's going to be down for extra bases and roll all the way back to the wall. Being waved around. Here's the throw to the plate. It is not in time. It's a double for Clemis. And it is 4-1 Westchester. As Sturgill back in the circle. First pitch is over for a strike to Thomas. 0-1 the count to Jillian Thomas. The 0-1. Lined out into right field, down in front of Cox for a base hit. They're going to hold Clemis at third. That was a smart move to hold her. Westchester looking to just bust this one open. Make the last two innings a little bit easier in the circle for Megan Kavanaugh. 4-1 now. Runners on the corners with only one out. You talk about a game of inches. This was almost a double play that had nobody on. And 2 out. But by Stump beating that out, she winds up scoring on the double, and now runners on the corners as McCoach grounds one down to third. Up with it is Pertell. She'll throw to first. Taking second on the play is Thomas. Clemis remains at third with 2 down now for Kim, who has sacrificed and fly down. She's 0 for 1. The first to Kim. Ground ball towards second. Up with it is Brown. She'll fire to first, and the inning is over. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. 6 outs left for Shepherd to try to rally. We go to the top of the 6th inning. 4-1 Westchester in the Division II Softball Atlantic Super Regional. Berger, Sturgill, and Gilligan, the heart of the order, due up for Shepherd, trailing 4-1 here in the top of the 6th. Kavanaugh has been sharp. She's retired 8 of the last 9 batters she's faced. Berger sacrificed and struck out. It's a squeeze bunt. The first one is fouled back, 0-1. You know, Linda, you were here yesterday. You got to see Kavanaugh pitch yesterday. With what she's done yesterday, what she's done today, if Westchester holds on, especially if she goes the distance, probably looking at the Super Regional MVP right there.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely a contender. She's been shutting out Shepherd offense all day, today and yesterday.
Next one is low for a ball, 1-1. You also have to give consideration to Heidi McAllister. RBI in 2 of the 3 games. The 1-1 is lifted into shallow center. That's going to just miss the glove of Kim. So that'll be a single for Berger, and it'll bring up Sturgill.
Clutch hit right there. Start off the inning strong. Top of the 6th.
Sturgill has walked and been called out on strikes. See if we're going to get a pinch runner here for Berger. And we are, as Daisy Adams is going to come in and pinch run here. Adams, a freshman out of Montclair, Virginia. First to Sturgill. Low and away for a ball, 1-0. Kavanaugh. 1-0 is a fastball on the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. There is activity for Westchester. It's like that's Hanshaw warming along the third base line. The 1-1. Little humpback line drive into right field. That's down for a base hit. Stopping at second is Adams, 2 on, nobody out. Neither of those balls hit very hard, but perfectly placed, and all of a sudden, Shepherd has the offense going. As it'll bring up Connor Gilligan. Gilligan has struck out and popped out. It's Kavanaugh. The first on the way, outside for a ball, 1-0. Third baseman Masseth caught halfway between guarding a bunt and making sure she can cover third is the next one. Called strike outside corner at the knees, 1-1. Adams, the pinch runner on second, Sturgill on first, nobody out, top 6. The next one is popped up. McAllister off with the mask, and she will make the catch in foul territory for the first out of the inning. That is a huge first out without those runners advancing. And bring up Leanne Brown. Brown has grounded to grounded to first and fouled out to first. Initial offering to Brown is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count to Leanne Brown. Into the line, the 1-0, low for a ball, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes to Brown. If you're Shepherd, you need to get some of these runners on. Whether it's Brown or Taylor, otherwise you're going to have 7, 8, and 9. Or at the very least 8, 9, and 1 in the 7th. The next one is ripped out into left field. Going back on it, it'll go off the wall. As Clemis just comes up with it, it'll be a single because the runners had to hold and see if that ball was going to be caught, but they are loaded up now for Rachel Taylor. Taylor has popped out and lined softly to the circle. We're going to have a mound visit here.
The run on that should have been at least halfway.
And it was very, very hard hit. And I agree. She should have been at least halfway, which would have given her a chance to score on the play. But as it is, they are loaded up with 1 out. We go from 5 minutes ago talking about Megan Kavanaugh possibly being the MVP of the Super Regional to in a position to possibly come close to giving up the lead. The first on the way to Taylor. Outside for a ball, 1-0. One ball, no strikes to Rachel Taylor. Adams on third, Sturgill at second, Brown at first. The ball that Brown hit was the first hard hit ball of the inning. The 1-0 low for a ball, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. To the catcher, Taylor. So next one is a ground ball wide of third base foul. Hits the Shepherd head coach in that third base coach's box. 2-1 the count to Taylor. Karam's all the way around, and Masseth finally picks it up in the middle of the diamond.
Westchester is playing deep in the field. Maybe to turn 2 on a ground ball.
Well, the second baseman is out onto the outfield grass. The 2-1 is upstairs for a ball, 3-1. I mean, I think you got to figure they're willing to trade a run for a ground out here, knowing that one more out after that gets them out of the inning. But now it's 3-1 on Taylor. Kavanaugh delivers. Popped up, left side. Kim calling for it. Infield fly rule is in effect. That is a huge, huge second out, as it'll bring up Lindsey Anderson, the designated player, who's 0 for 2.
Like you said, that is a huge second out. Getting that pop-up, you have to give Kavanaugh props.
Well, and especially after she fell behind 2-0 and 3-1. To be able to come up with that pitch to induce the pop-up. First on the way is ripped through the middle for a base hit. Adams will score. Sturgill will be held at third. It's an RBI single for Anderson, and it's 4-2.
The Shepherd offense just hitting singles, but it's working, and they're chipping away.
That'll bring up the right fielder, Morgan Cox. Well, you know, you get enough singles, you string together enough hits in an inning, good things happen. Cox 0 for 2 on the day. First on the way, called strike. 0-1 the count to Cox. Kavanaugh with the 0-1. Slapped out towards second. Garber flips it on to first, and the side is retired. So Westchester does give up 1 run. Shepherd gets 4 hits in the inning, no errors, and leaves them loaded. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Westchester in the Atlantic Super Regional. New pitcher into the game for Shepherd as Klotz comes in to pitch. Sturgill moves out to left field. So Klotz will now come in for the DP. And bat in the 8th spot. And also Berger returns out at shortstop, as it'll be Garber to lead things off. A little humpback line drive out to short where Berger makes the catch for the first out of the inning. One down, and it'll bring up Hartman, who has walked twice and singled today. 4-2, Westchester on top in the bottom of the 6th. Looking ahead, it will be the top of the order due up for Shepard in the 7th. His first pitch is low for a ball to Hartman, 1-0. It's Konopka, Pertel, and Berger scheduled to hit in the 7th for the Rams. The 1-0. Upstairs, 2-0. Stocks. The 2-0 upstairs, 3-0. Westchester would love to get the run back that they gave up in the top half of the inning. Well, they're a little lucky that they only gave up the 1 run. It's a 3-0. Called strike on the outer half, belt high, 3-1. With the ball that went off the wall and everybody just going station to station, Shepard could have had a little bit bigger of an inning. This is the 3-1. Low ball 4. So Hartman draws a leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Masseth. Masseth has an RBI single. Tries to bunt. Rolls foul, 0-1. Sandwiched around a strikeout and a ground out. Stocks delivers the 0-1. Popped up. Second baseman Brown calling for it, and she will squeeze it for out number 2. 2 down, and it brings up McAllister, who has been intentionally walked, and singled to drive in a run. Stocks trying to get through this inning unscathed. His first pitch is a fastball up, 1-0. Last time around, McAllister kind of got the intentional walk. See if that's the same here. Even though it'll push an insurance run into scoring position, I have a feeling they'd rather face Stump. Next pitch is low for a ball, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. To McAllister. Next one. Took a little bit off, but it's over for a strike. Inner half, 2-1. Next one outside for a ball. 3-1 to McAllister. The 3-1 popped up a mile high out in front of the plate. The first baseman comes in, and Gilligan will make the catch for the final out of the inning. Shepard down to one final inning here to try to save their season when we come back on the Division II Atlantic Super Regional. Shepherd 3 outs from their season ending. Westchester 3 outs from doing it. Shepherd 3 runs from keeping their season going. 2 runs actually as we head to the top of the 7th. 4-2 Westchester on top. The winner goes to Denver. The loser has their season come to a close. Konopka standing in 2 for 3. The first pitch is popped up foul, third base side. Masseth and Kim giving chase. Kim will not quite get there. 0-1 the count to Konopka. And for these Shepherd seniors, Caitlin Konopka being one of them, they have taken this program to new levels. And they'd love to be able to get a couple of runs to extend the season and maybe just have that trip to the national tournament. The 0-1. Tries to slap her way on, popped foul, third base side out of play, 0-2 to Konopka. Meanwhile, for Westchester, they're looking for a return trip. They were the regional champions last year, taking out Gannon in 2 games in the Super Regional. And it'll be their 3rd trip in 6 years, joining 2014 and 2018. His next one is a fastball low. 1-2, the count to Konopka. She'll be followed by Pertel and Berger here in the 7th. The 1-2. Little nubber out towards short. Kim has to hurry to throw. She won't get it there in time. It's an infield single for Konopka. And now the tying run comes to the plate in the person of Nicole Pertel.
Perfectly placed slap right there. She knew the shortstop was back, so she knew she had to hit it to the left side. Hit 2 foul balls to the left side and made that ground ball into single.
Pertel with 2 homers on the year. 1 for 2 today with a single, a walk, and a fly out. The first pitch is low for a ball, 1-0. Westchester won the opening game of the Super Regional yesterday, 10-1 in 5 innings. Shepherd winning game 2 today, 7-1 at noon. So the next pitch is over the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. That's how we got to this point. Westchester with single runs in the 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The next one is off the fist. It is a foul ball, just barely foul down the right field line, 1-2 on Pertel.
With Konopka's speed at first, a gap shot could potentially score her.
27 steals in 32 attempts this year. Not going to be stealing here. Not with the tying run at the plate, but just goes to underscore the speed that she has. Kavanaugh gets the sign. The 1-2. Outside for ball, and it's 2-2. The wind, and the 2-2. Ground ball sharply hit into left field for a base hit, so now the tying run is aboard, and the go-ahead run comes to the plate in the person of Berger. Ashley Berger has a single, has driven in a run with a squeeze, and has struck out. And that's going to do it for Kavanaugh as we have a pitching change here at the Division II Softball Atlantic Super Regional. Then Hanshaw comes in to try to finish this one off. Hanshaw did pitch earlier today. Overall 6-5 on the year and a 2.71 ERA, 23 games, 6 starts. She's got 2 saves, and that's what she's gunning for here. 64 and 2/3 innings, 76 hits, 32 runs, 25 earned, 16 walks, 19 strikeouts for Hanshaw. She inherits 2 on and nobody out, and is facing the heart of the order for Shepherd, trying to keep their season alive. Down 4-2 in the top of the 7th. It's Pertell, who's 1 for 2, digs in. Grounded foul, third base side, 0-1. Kavanaugh goes 6+, allows 9 hits, 2 runs. She's responsible for the runners on base right now. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. She can win it. She can get a no decision. The 0-1. Olo for a ball. Nice block by McAllister. 1-1. Late inning comebacks have been the story all around the country in this NCAA tournament. This is the 1-1. Low for a ball, 2-1. Does Shepherd have one in them, or can Westchester shut it down? The 2-1. And it hit her bat. It is a foul ball. That evens the count at 2-2. That's a break for Westchester. Two balls, 2 strikes to Berger. The 2-2. Fouled straight back. Will go again from 2-2 to Berger. Sturgill on deck. Hanshaw gets the sign, the 2-2 again. Fouled off her foot back to the circle. That cannot feel good. As sharply as that one had to have hit off of her in order to have that velocity coming back to the circle. A smart play by Hanshaw, waiting and picking it up, making sure the umpire signaled foul ball. The 2-2 again, fouled off again. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Berger. She's fouled off 4 in a row. Infield and outfielder deep for Westchester. The 2-2. Foul down the third base side. 5 foul balls in a row for Berger. Another 2-2. Rounded foul again. This is getting ridiculous. This is going to be the 10th pitch of the at-bat. She's fouled off 6 in a row.
She's doing a great job with a new pitcher coming in, not seeing her, and now she's seeing 10 pitches.
And it gives her teammates a chance to see what Hanshaw has also. You know, Sturgill is studying this in the on-deck circle. So is Gilligan. Another 2-2. Another foul ball. The sun comes back after a little bit of a passing cloud. Another 2-2. Ground ball wide of third base, foul again. It's going to be a 12th pitch in this at-bat.
That one was a little bit closer.
She's fouled off 8 straight pitches. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down, it'll bring up Sturgill. Sturgill has singled, walked, and struck out 1 for 2. So let me ask you right now, how much of a momentum swing is that strikeout after that huge battle? You get the first 2 on, you battle. Finally, Hanshaw wins the battle.
That's a huge strikeout. Definitely the momentum went to the Golden Rams.
Still 2 tough hitters to get through as the initial offering to Sturgill is over the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, the outfield's back, so a little bloop line drive into the outfield will score Konopka for sure.
The 0-1 just misses the outer half. 1-1, and I think that's what Marissa Leslie was just telling the runner at first. Look out for where a ball might land and be aggressive. Get ready to take that extra base coming from first base. You know, as you said, Konopka's going to score on a bloop to the outfield as the 1-1. Fouled back again, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. To Sturgill, 2 on, 1 out. Westchester leading by 2 in the 7th with a trip to the national tournament on the line. The 1-2. Bouncer out towards short. Throw to second for 1, return to first, not in time. It's a fielder's choice. Pertell out at second, 6-4. Sturgill aboard at first, Konopka takes third.
Patel made a good slide to break up that double play.
And the last player standing is Connor Gilligan. Not a bad player to have up right now. She's 0 for 3 today, but a .318 hitter on the season. She's going to talk things over with Coach Leslie. It's Hanshaw looking for her 3rd save of the season and the biggest of her career. The sophomore from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Cumberland Valley High School. High drama here in southern Chester County. One more out needed. Shepherd, 2 more runs needed. Hanshaw with the first. Lined past the glove of Garber into right field for a base hit. 1 run is in. Sturgill will head to third. And it's a 4-3 ball game. So now the tying run is 60 feet away. The go-ahead run on base, and the batter will be Leanne Brown. Brown 1 for 3 in Game 3. She was 3 for 3 in Game 2, 4 for 6 overall on the day with 2 RBI.
You can't ask for a better game than this.
You know, after a couple of blowouts in the first 2 games, this has been everything you wanted. We're going to have a visit to the circle. Nobody warming up for Westchester, so this is Hanshaw's game unless you bring Kavanaugh back in, but I can't imagine you'd be doing that in this situation. This is just a go out there, talk, settle this one down.
Break up the momentum.
Leanne Brown, a sophomore from Hume, Virginia. Trying to score the senior Sturgill and tie this one up here in the 7th. The first on the way. Fastball outer half, belt high for a strike, 0-1. Again for Westchester, a back-to-back trip to the Elite Eight in the Women's College World Series on the line. Next one is low for a ball, 1-1. Westchester aiming for their third regional championship in the last 6 years. 2014, 2018. 1 out away from adding 2019 to the list is the 1-1. Outside 2-1. The 2-1. High and away, 3-1.
You have to give credit to these batters. They're not swinging at anything out of the zone.
Yeah, Shepherd has definitely put on a battle here. The 3-1. Ball 4, and they are loaded up. So now the tying run at third, the go-ahead run in scoring position. And I'll bring up Rachel Taylor. Taylor 0 for 3 on the day, 2 pop-outs and a soft line-out. Sturgill at third. Gilligan at second. Brown at first. 4-3 Westchester clinging to the lead here in the 7th. Hanshaw with the initial offering. Upstairs, ball 1. And if you're Shepherd, take until you get a strike right now. McAllister is going to come out. Have a quick conversation with Hanshaw. Whatever she said, it must have settled her down because the two are smiling as they're heading back to their respective positions. That's a veteran catcher knowing what's going to settle her pitcher down. The 1-0. Just missed for ball 2-0. Now the fans on the third base side and in the first base dugout making some noise. Hanshaw's 2-0. Called strike 1, 2-1.
If you're Taylor here, you really want to find any possible way to get on base, even if it's getting hit by a pitch.
Any way she gets on base ties the game. The 2-1 ground ball back to the circle. Hanshaw to first. And the Westchester University Golden Rams are going to Denver. Final score, Westchester 4, Shepherd 3. The Golden Rams are the Atlantic Region champions for the second consecutive year. Final totals in the ball game for Westchester: 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors. For Shepherd, 3 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Winning pitcher is Kavanaugh. She's now 12-4. Hanshaw picks up her 3rd save of the season. Taking the loss is going to be Sturgill. She ends her season at 18-9. Before we go anywhere, let's give all credit to Shepherd here. They had to win the 12 o'clock game today, game 2, in order to force an extra game in their season. They did that 7-1. They did not give up here in game 3, where they fell behind 4-1. They cut it to 4-3 and had the winning or the tying run on third base as the game ended. They did everything they possibly could, and they can leave with their heads held high, knowing that they have taken this program to new heights. The seniors and everybody on this team has taken this program to new heights. It's a bittersweet moment right now for Shepherd. There are a lot of tears right now, a lot of disappointment for the Rams, especially for these seniors who just had their careers end on that ground out. But to put it in perspective, they had never won 42 games in a year before. They had never been to a super regional before. And they took Westchester to the very, very brink in order to be able to accomplish things that this program had never done before. So a ton of credit to the Shepherd Rams, who will actually be joining the PSAC next year and will be divisional opponents against Westchester in the PSAC East. All credit to them, but the day belongs to the Westchester Golden Rams, who are the Atlantic Region champions and will represent the region in Denver at the Division II Women's College World Series. The Shepherd receiving their Super Region participation and advancement medals, for Westchester receives their trophy. Once again, Westchester coming away with the win here today. We're going to stop talking and just let you watch this ceremony as we go forward. For everybody involved in the broadcast today, I'm Chad Cooper saying, have a good evening, everybody, and congratulations to the Westchester Golden Rams, champions of the Atlantic Region.